We're now going to create a really simple extract Dataraptor to extract our contacts. And that will be based on what the user provides in the OmniScript. So just in the Dataraptors here, we're going to click on New, and we'll give it a name. We'll leave it as extract, and then we'll just click on Save. Now, there may be some scenarios where you're looking for particular contact record types. For purposes of this example, we're just going to keep it simple and we're going to ignore all of that. But just know that you can actually specify the record type ID or the developer name that you wish to use. So we'll just go ahead really quickly and easy here. We're going to select contact. And we'll also put contact down for our extract output path. Now our filter, we want our first name to equal the first name from our form, and we've called that F first name. And we'll add an and we want last name to equal our last name from the form. And then we'll have another one, and this time it'll be email. And then we can see over here it will be coming in from contact. And then we'll just come along here to output, and we will add, and we're looking just to output the contact ID for this example. So contact ID, and then we'll give it the same output path. Now if we go into preview, we'll just add some pairs here. So if we go ahead and put in some values, and execute, we'll see that we have no results because we don't have any contacts with those names. But if I change that to a contact that I created earlier, and then execute, we have one result there. Now I'll just go ahead and copy the name from my other screen here. We have one where we've got 2 matches, so we'll just put that in. And now when I execute, we can see that we get 2 back there. So how do I let my OmniScript know, or in fact later on our integration procedure know, that there are 2 that have come back? So the easiest way that I found to do that is to click onto formulas over here, and to add a formula that'll count what is returned. So we'll just go add formula, and bear with me while I type this in. Hopefully I typed it in correct. So we're going to go with COUNTQUERY, and in there we're going to put in our so-called query. So we'll go select count from contact where, and we'll put our where in brackets, and so we'll have first name equals, and first name needs to be in single quotes, and we'll just put in our curly brackets and we'll put a 0 there to start with. Okay, and then we'll go and last name equals, and we'll repeat, and email equals 2. Okay, and then from there we've got our close bracket, we'll put in our end quotes, and then we'll just go comma, and then this is where we're going to put in our variables. So our variables for 0, 1, and 2. So we're going to have F first name, F last name, and F email. And these are the same variables that if we go into the extract are being called there. So hopefully I've typed that in right. And just over here, I'm going to put in just count as my return path. And if I just tab across, well, it hasn't come up yet, but we should find that the count comes in a bit later. So we've added that in. We're now going to go into our output, and we're going to click on the add button, and this time we're going to go into count, and our output will be count as well. So we can see that we've got our count, which should be the formula that's returned there, and then our different IDs there. So let's go back into preview and we'll execute that and see what happens. Okay, perfect. So we have our two IDs that come back, and our count comes back in a separate node as 2. So that's worked exactly how we expected it to. So if I just put in a different name in here now and go execute, we can see that count comes back as 0. So this is what I'm going to use to determine whether there's a match or not. So if you remember in the intro, we said that if there's exactly 1 that's returned, then we'll match it. If there's 0 or more than 1, then we'll create a new one. So that's working how I wanted to. So it is already saved on its own. And what I can go ahead now and do is add that to my actual OmniScript here. So I'll go back into design view and click on build, and we'll just type in Dataraptor. So we've got our Dataraptor extract action, and we'll just drag that underneath. And then what we'll do is we'll get our Dataraptor here. So we called it get contact. And then I'm just going to give it a better name over there. Now let's scroll up and we'll preview. And you'll see the next button has come up there because we've now got an additional step. You might want to change that to submit. I'll just quickly show you how to do that in case you don't know. So you just click onto the step, and then when you come down to the button properties, we'll just change the next label to submit for this particular step. So let's preview that again. And we'll type in just Joe blogs and submit. And if you look here in our data JSON, we've got count 0. And this is what we can use to then determine whether we create a contact or return the existing contact ID. And that's where I'll leave this particular video. And in the next one, we'll go ahead and finish those steps.